Hey everybody, it's Andy here, aka Montolio, and we're back for a vintage challenge. And I'm playing blue-black Lurrus Control, or for what some people like to call Demir. And this is a deck that I think has a pretty good matchup, not a pretty good matchup, but has a fair matchup against just about everything in the field. And the way I've structured my list, if you haven't watched any of my recent videos on this, is we're really going max out control. We've got 4 Force of Wills, 4 Force of Negations, 2 Mind Break Traps, 3 Spell Pierces, and a Daze and a Mental Misstep. And that's about as convoluted of a control package as you will see in Vintage today. And the idea behind that is there is a lot of speed in the format right now, and we are seeing Doomsday, we're seeing Raker, we're seeing Jewel. And the idea is that when we're on the draw, well, not just on the draw, but on the play, but in the draw in particular, we just need to survive to get to our next turn to be able to have some of our cheaper permission up, like Spell Pierce or land a Null Rod, something like that. Um, Flow State, newest card in the vintage metagame, and a lot of people are experimenting it, and I am no exception. I've tried it out quite a number of times, even in Control in a more limited fashion, of course, as I don't think it actually belongs in Control. And I did have one in my list today, but I ended up pulling it out because the reality is, despite I think Flow State is a very good card, later game, it doesn't really fit the mold of our deck. In that if we are tapping out, we are tapping out for a great game-breaking spell in Psychic Frog or something like Null Rod. This is in the earlier part of the game too, and tapping out for a sorcery needs to be extremely powerful, and it has to be one of two cards: it's Time Walk or Demonic Tutor in this list. And I think Flow State is hard to set up in this list. We do not have the sorceries. I've moved off of Lauren Revealed altogether now in favor of Mind Break Traps. This deck just doesn't have a ton of issues finding its mana. It's fairly consistent because it's 2 colors, and that's a much different beast with Esper. And of course, I think Esper can support Flow State better than Demir can because of that factor. And that said, I just really don't feel like it's what we're looking to do. We're looking to tempo out and we're looking to close the game and control all the way and have our little beaters take over the game. So that's my thoughts on Flow State. It is powerful. I think it belongs in a 5 Moxen shell with all likelihood. There are decks that can support it that are very compact, like Doomsday, for instance. I played a Doomsday opponent the other day that cast a Flow State on me, and it was really good, and I felt like I needed to counter it given the parity on the board. And that's where Flow State is going to shine, right? When you're at parity and somebody has it and the clause is turned on. But anyways, it's yet to be determined where it's going to fall into Vintage. It's brand new. I know it's making waves in lots of other formats, but we're not playing it today. I just opted out on it. And sideboard, kind of gone back to, by the way, I've moved back to 2 rods. I came off 2 rods down to 1 the other day. And despite I'm giving up some equity in the mirror, I feel like Null Rod is just extremely good right now, and it's due for a little bit of a resurgence of the Lurrus PO deck to come back. And despite I know there's pundits that say it's not that effective because they're just a deck that grinds, I do believe Null Rod is quite relevant when you have Wastelands out, and if we can control the game that way, then it gives me a chance to win. Otherwise, it probably is our deck's worst matchup. And sideboard, we are on the Snuff Out Dismember plan. I'm not crazy about Snuff Out, but Snuff Out fills a void for this deck in the sense that White Initiative is a really tough matchup for us. Having that instant answer for no mana is very powerful. It also answers troublesome creatures like Hollow One and Argentum Masticore free of charge. The life typically doesn't matter. Same with Dismember. It's a hedge. I really need it for the mirror, and I need something that can remove Argentum Masticore and Hollow One. So should I decide play or draw to play the Dismember, Momentum Breaker, same thing. It answers those creatures. We've got the extra rod, triple consign. I have moved up to 3 cages today. I think there is a chance that we're going to see a little bit more dredge, and I just think cage is overall the best blanket. So we've got 3 removal in 2 Nihil, 1 Tormad, and we've got blanket in cage, and of course the Tormad's crypt. So a healthy amount of graveyard hate. Anyways, guys, appreciate you hanging out. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let's see how we roll today. See you round one. Okay, guys, here we are in round one on the draw. I'm likely playing Esper, Lurrus Control. And our hand is obviously quite reliant on the ancestral resolving. If I draw a blue card, we have the potential for having a force of negation in a hard cast force of negation off the Lotus into a force of will to protect it. This becomes a little trickier if they try a Bowmaster move on me or have an ancestral of themselves. They have a Lotus. Okay, so that makes the Bowmaster more viable here. Difference between play and draw, folks. What we don't want to see is a turn one frog. That puts a lot of pressure on us to be able to answer it. And yes, I can force, but they have ancestral? Unfortunately, I do need to try and force this. I'm not happy about it because it's likely going to get hit with a Pierce. Oh, do they have a Time Walk too? Okay, that's not too bad. They are down to 2 cards here, and their mana is out, so probably should have watched Trap here a bit, but so not great. They don't have Spell Pierce because they would have used it. I think I just pass here. I don't really want to burn my Lotus if I don't have to. I think I'm going to let them have the card. Oh my god, that is just savage. Okay. Love a fatal push here, guys. Yeah, we are really losing this badly, unfortunately. They drew their Stony Silence, we drew our Null Rod. Not great. We're not dead here. They have the advantage without a doubt because they're drawing extra cards. They found their own Bowmaster, yep. Not good for us, guys. Not good at all. I don't know that it was worth countering that. I'm saving my misstep for removal here because whatever it is they're going to do, they're going to draw that card. They drew one for their upkeep, and they're going to draw another one right here, which eats the brainstorm. Well, 2/3 of it anyways, so I will try and get a block in here and then brainstorm after the block or during the block. If I get an opportunity to do that, they may end up just discarding. They have so much card value here. Yeah. This is what these mirrors look like, though. It's essentially who can stick a creature and keep it there. I think I will brainstorm before they draw off the frog to give myself the best chance to resolve it. And if they have a second bowmaster, yes, I'm dead. But I'd really like to get rid of this null rod. Yep. And Delve is another reason why I think Flow State is a poor card in this deck. We have Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise, and 4 frogs that are taxing our graveyard. And Flow State is not very good in those situations. See if this gets in. Force of Will. Okay, I do not have a counter to that. Sorry about that. Just had a phone call there. One of my daughters. We're talking shop about Mother's Day. I love it if you're casting spells there. Oh, they left it at 1 life. It's good for me. I'm just playing the clock here. Okay, let's get into the board here. So that was a pretty bad for us. I felt really good until they went Lotus on their opener, and it set me up for a turn 1 frog that I couldn't fight. The good news is we have some tools here. I don't know how many my opponent has. Now, as I said in the beginning of my video, we are a little bit weaker. I have no idea why Magic Online does this. It freezes on the photo. So we like our mana. Obviously, Force of Negation is not very good, but that's okay. That's just a byproduct of what we're trying to attack here, and we're trying to avoid mirrors, and if we need to play mirrors, we're trying to outplay our opponents. And they're finicky beasts when you play the mirror, as it is with any other mirror. And, you know, you can have a great hand, but you want to be the one who has the creatures. Oh, boy. I guess I will reluctantly keep this. So what I'm going to attempt to do is resolve my Mox Sapphire. It will be a red flag that I'm putting it out unprotected, and that's just what I have to do. We probably lose if they counter it. This is a high risk, high reward hand. And the idea behind it is to play Saga, Time Walk, then untap, find another mana source, and we can either sit on Saga tokens or hopefully cast Bowmasters if need be. It's risky. And my opponent is a competent player. They will pick up on the nuance that I'm not playing the Mox protected and on-color Mox. And they might try and counter it, but most people move negations if they're able to. I'm not thrilled if they counter this, but the good news, I got the Mox in. It's interesting they keep Time Twister in. I keep it in strictly because I have to. I would side it out a mirror against opposing Bowmasters. It's just tricky to set up, and it can be a dead card in your hand if you're on the wrong side of the Bowmaster battle. It's happened to me quite a few times where I've come to the conclusion it's not really where you want to be. And sure, you can set it up, but it's challenging to do. Very likely let Wasteland go. No. That's a. I guess they're not wanting to play into Bowmaster on my turn. It's kind of odd timing for a brainstorm, but Okay, we did miss. And we drew a really bad card negation. We don't even have any ability to use it right now. So, yep, we're passing. Let's hope we can dodge getting wastelanded here. This is Lavinia? Yeah, jeez. I can't even kill that. Yes, we get a black mox. All right. Because we can cast Bowmasters here, we're not out of this. I mean, given the circumstances of missing our land drop there twice in a row, I'm not completely disappointed in my positioning here. Now the idea is that hopefully they don't have any answers from my Psychic Frog here. They do. Okay. We are looking for land. Lavinia. I can kill that. I don't think I'm crazy to do that right now. They have Lauren revealed here. How badly do I want to try and get rid of this Lauren revealed? I don't think so right now. Or excuse me, the Lavinia. I'm going to try and entrap my opponent here, but I think they'll smartly realize that Lavinia is too valuable here. So they will be able to draw. I know they're not going to attack here. If they have their own Bowmaster and then do it, I mean, so be it. My opponent doesn't have a lot of resources here, 2 to be exact. Okay, this is just very likely a removal spell here, a Fatal Push. Or it could just be an Ancestral. It could be a Dig Through Time. Dig Through Time's a pretty good one because I can't actually stop Dig Through Time. Whereas something like Treasure Cruise or Ancestral have a distinct clause to them that they have to be cognizant of. The good news for me is I have resources. The bad news is I'm not able to cast a lot of them. Oh, funny enough, I couldn't have fatal pushed earlier. All right. This is very likely to be a dig through time. I will attempt to hard cast counter it. I say there's no way they're attacking. They have their own bowmaster likely here. Yep, that does work. Like I can't just pass turn, you know what I mean? They have their own bowmaster. They have not played a land here. I'm going to get a black source, a swamp. It takes me off hard cast negation, but I just really need to be able to protect my business here. Okay, I did get Lavinia off the table. A blue card would be fine here. Oh, jeez. Can I kill my opponent here? 7, that would put them to 9. Yeah, it does. If they don't have a counter. I have to try. And after me slandering, not wanting Time Twister, eh? The paradox of it all. Anyways, that's a really nice win for us. I was not feeling good there. Kind of a feel bad situation that we just don't really have anything better. We just unfortunately have to fall on the right side of our deck. This has no creatures, but it's defensible. Nice to have the misstep here. I think I'm going to Wasteland here. If it's possible my opponent was really banking on the Lotus, or excuse me, the Ancestral Recall to reload their hand and find mana, and it's possible they didn't find any. That's unfortunate. Okay. Hopefully they do not have another mana. That would be huge for us. They do. I do think I need to scry here, and if they Wasteland me, I think I'm okay with that. It's somewhat suboptimal because I know there's a Wasteland on the table, but I have a dig through time here. I think we can cycle that. I'm, of course, trying to build towards a dig here, and may even go for it right now, but we'll see. They do not have Bowmaster up. Oh, they have a misstep. 3 cards in hand. So, not really crazy to burn my Lotus here, but I think I'm going to, because I actively want to find a Wasteland. Now, hopefully we don't have to force back here, because we are going to have to do that, which is going to gut our hand. Oh, that's really bad for me. I guess what I end up doing here, guys, is I guess I have to play towards Lurrus here. And the best way to do that is hopefully I don't need to pitch my seal, because that's how I'm going to handle constructs. But I think it has to be Mox and Frog. I wouldn't say I'm happy about this setup, but this is where we've ended up falling. I could play out the seal. Maybe that was the smart move to protect myself, but are they going to make another one? Or are they going to go for Lurrus here? Looks like Lurrus. And they can Wasteland in addition to this if they have another mana. A little bit unfortunate I didn't find a Wasteland there off that dig. It really would have changed the issue that I'm having here. Also been hard because my daughters have called me about a dozen times during this match. Both of them are shopping at the mall separately and vetting me for Mother's Day's gifts, and yeah, not necessarily good for the focus if you catch my drift. So 4 cards in hand for them. Are they going to go for a Lotus? The good thing about the Lotus is if they do the Lotus, it's transient in the sense that they're going to get probably a use out of it if I'm able to remove the Lurrus, and it will shrink their constructs. Like I'm the one with card draw right now, and I do have some life to give currently. They did go for the Lotus. Okay, let's hope they tap their stuff here. Okay. So I guess the question we have here is, are they going to go for Lurrus? And if they don't, does that mean that they are in a position where they cannot protect Lurrus? So that's a swords. They have hardcast force up. I'm going to let it go. Like my seal is really valuable. I will pitch it if I absolutely like for Lurrus. Sure, I would have pitched it if I had to do it. Of course, I would have tried to fatal push it. So they are going for it, eh? Or are they waiting? Probably a pretty good attack here before you sacrifice the Lotus. They could have the answer, but I don't think they're going to cast it here. They are. So they'll get their Lotus back. On the stack, I'm going to try and kill this. I'm going to get a swamp. They've used their misstep. Yep. Hopefully they don't have a dig. Okay. Can I find a blue card here? This could be a negation. They did not negate. Okay, well, that's good for me. The bad news is my guns are down here. So hopefully they don't have much here. I can't imagine a world where they do not wasteland me. They still can have hard cast force. We desperately need to draw a blue card to be able to protect our Lurrus coming down. My opponent's mana is awkward too. Of note, the only black source they have is a Black Lotus. Okay, I'm not crazy about that because that's going to be a dig or a treasure cruise or an ancestral, and I can't protect from it. So that's a pretty big game swinging card. Probably going to lose to that. Yeah. Okay, that will keep me off Lurrus for now. Hopefully they don't have a Bowmaster here. That's really lucky for me. So this buys me time too. As I said, their Lotus was a kind of a one-trick pony. It was really good for them there. That was a good draw. Of note, my opponent's clock is getting low too. Going to play it out here. Of note, I can protect it with the seal if it resolves. They have something here. Frog is a good one. I will send this back to their hand. We just have to hope they don't have black mana. Just as a tempo play here. Oh, they're flying it. Oh, they're scared of my Bowmaster on the ground here. Let's hope they don't have anything here. Okay, no frog. Oof. It's not bad, the momentum breaker here. They did find it. Okay. Can we find a blue card, guys? They did have a force. Okay. So they're going to get a hit in. I don't know why they're flying. As if I'm blocking. Come on. Oh, they're discarding there. Okay, I see what they're doing. They're just getting rid of cards here. Well, we're going to need a bit of help here. Is that a Lavinia? It is a Lavinia. That's horrific for me here. That's like straight up the worst card that could happen to me here. I'm going to lose to that almost assuredly. I guess Lavinia can get in here. Unfortunately, I have to get an underground sea, but that's the world we're living in. Because they have a thing there, but I'm going to get to untap. And if I find a land, I can seal. But it's going to require me to find a land here. And to keep my Lurrus in play, of course. 3, yeah. Flying, I can't stop it. Yep. Lavinia was brutal there. Can we find a land, guys? So I die to this thing. 2, 3. They just block. But if they block with Lavinia, well, if I block with Lavinia, it means I can't do anything with my graveyard. Yeah, no out here. They have 3 cards in their graveyard to fly. I cannot do anything from my yard here. If I flash in Bowmaster, I can kill the Lavinia next turn, but I will take lethal on the stack. And that's 3, so they can 3, 4, 5, 6. So unfortunately, I just have to attack in. Which is unfortunate. And I'd have to block with my Bowmaster. But if they do that, let's just see here. So if they try and kill me, and let's say I go with everything right now. Like they're just going to block my Lurrus with Lavinia. They just are. Like if I attack with everything here, what happens? What if they just block my Bowmaster and then I Bowmaster my Bowmaster in? Well, they wouldn't do that. They block my Lurrus. So it's 3 free damage if they don't have a Bowmaster. So I think we go with everything here. And I'll have to jump block with another Bowmaster. They are going to block because they want it. They're going to kill my Lurrus almost assuredly. And do I put my Bowmaster in now? I think so. And now, if they don't have anything, they can't. I don't even know if they can attack me. I guess they can because they're. But no, because I would kill them on the swing back. They didn't attack. Blue card? That is a blue card. They didn't pierce. So I do die here on this follow through. That's the problem I have here. Is my Lotus gone? That was a mistake. Damn it. My Lotus is gone. I just didn't think about it. I had to cast Frog there. That was a game-ending mistake for me. Right? They just kill me. Oh my God, guys. How could I have made that mistake? That's game. What an awful way for me to die. Yeah, 30 seconds left too. Oh my God. What a punt on my part here. Just literally heartbreaking. Okay, here we are in round 2. I think we've run into another mirror, like another Esper matchup here. Yeah. And we're on the draw again, unfortunately. I think we'll keep this hand. Once again, I'm somewhat reliant on the Mox resolving. Makes it more viable on the draw, but having the misstep is very important for the spell pierce. One. It's unlikely they'll play into trap, but they could. Ooh, jeez. Okay, see if I can resolve this. I should be able to. Get a basic island here. Maybe should have misstepped in case they force. Because now my mana is really screwed if this doesn't work. Like I just in good conscience cannot force back. I really need the Mox. Might have been an oversight. I really wanted the misstep for removal or something like that. They did counter it. Okay. I cannot in good conscience fight over that. Now, our hand isn't great, but if we find a land, it's good. Okay. We're looking for a land here. That is not a land. But I am going to wasteland and try and put them in this a similar position. Yeah, really awful for me. This is kind of went the worst that it could, despite I don't know that I would have changed anything. Like my logic was sound, and it's not. I don't know this opponent. I've never seen them before, but it's unorthodox to fight over a mox to that extent. Like I had a land and play. Like what were they trying to? Well, I know what they were trying to do, and it did work. I can't fight over that. We need to find a land right here. I think we did. Okay. Hopefully they miss here. And we find one here. That would be really nice. We did. Very fortuitous. I'm going to flash right here before they find a black source. Now, if they have their own bowmaster, this is obviously not a very good play, but I think it's good to be proactive. Swords. Yeah, I will have misstepped that one. Definitely Esper we're up against. Okay, I don't mind that one. Really looking for another land here so we can get Lurrus going. That would be super good. Now, if they force back here, I mean, I probably will force back. Negation is not very good in the mirror. I mean, we're kind of just all expending resources here, but this is the weirdest game. Land. Ugh. Yuck. That was a good one. I think if they had anything, they would have done it there. So we're going for our frog here. Oh, nice. Okay. Their timing is very good on that. But I don't hate that they're boosting my orc up here either. Okay. See if they have anything. They do indeed have a bowmaster. Let's see how they're going to do it. Okay, that does kill my bowmaster. Let's see what they're going to do here. Oh, interesting. Okay. I do think I do it here. They have another bowmaster. It's a bit unfortunate. Okay. So That was a very unorthodox game. My opponent decided on turn one that they were going to fight over my Mox jet after I fetched a basic island, and their logic is not ill in the sense that maybe this guy doesn't have another black source in his hand. But at that point, I still had 6 cards in my hand. So how can they deduce that I don't have a black source in my hand to spell pierce and then force of will my Mox is very unorthodox. And I think it cost them the game. All right, let's get into our board here. All right. Okay. Yep. A little bit awkward, but I think it's fine. On the draw, it's definitely better because we get another card. Now our hand is, oh, they got the Mox. That's tough on me. Okay, that was not bad. I think I'm going to attempt to brainstorm if they Bowmaster here. They didn't. Yep. Got to go for it here. Oh no. Hopefully it's just a Pierce. Yeah, like I can live with that. My opponent has had strip mine 2 games in a row. That was a good draw. Really unfortunate having that Undercity Sewers in hand, but that happens. Yep. Pretty awkward. I mean, I don't mind the force if we find a blue card, but it is awkward. So my opponent is having some mana trouble here of their own. Do I do it? It's going to cost me my mana and probably my Bowmaster. I think it's okay. And this is what I came here to do. Now, there's ways that this could go south for me. Like if they have their own Bowmaster, it's probably worst case scenario. Yep. Yeah, they didn't. Weird timing. I guess it's fine. They did have their own Bowmaster. I don't think I think I saved the push, at least for a turn. Want to daze this? Stuff interesting. Okay. Kind of need land. Okay. They're down to 3 cards. Let's see if we can fade a wasteland here. Another Bowmaster. Okay. That's pretty good. Maybe they'll walk into mine here. if they don't wasteland me. I wouldn't mind a blue card here or a land. That does work. I realize I could possibly trap them on both, but I want to ensure that I have a chance of getting them here. Now I realize that they can draw here in response, but I think that's okay. Actually, I did that wrong. I have a push. Okay. No, I didn't do it wrong then. Now I'm going to be able to ancestral. I could demonic tutor too for strip mine. Teach them a lesson. Nice. My hand isn't great, but I don't think they're going to be able to sit on that bauble for too much longer. But we just drew a lot of cards there. That was 7 cards. All right. Like they're so far behind on cards. Like I do think that they're going to draw off their bauble here. That's my hope, and the game is completely open to me if that's the case. Yeah. Yeah. They drew their own ancestral. Phew. Very nice. Now, they might have removal for my frog here. Well, they've conceded. We'll take that one. Okay, guys, here we are in round 3, and unfortunately, we're going to be playing against Lurrus PO here, which is a pretty tough matchup for us. I think because we have Null Rod and Wasteland, I think that we're going to keep this one. I'm not thrilled about it, but let's see what they're going to do here. This doesn't feel like Lurrus PO here. Let's take a look at what's up. It's Doomsday, Lurrus Doomsday. If I want to negate this, I'm fine with it. I do think I wasteland them. Like, I don't know. Like, I can turn off the bauble, but then they can demonic. I don't really like that. Another ponder, damn. They're killing me on these ponders here. They did shuffle their library, which is at least good for me. Huh, I like that. They did not find what they were looking for. I think I'm going to proactively turn this off, their graveyard. It'd be pretty sad if they just untapped and went into a delve spell. Eight cards they have to manually discard. I'm fine to cast the frog here. See if I can get it in. There's a very high upside if it resolves. And it does. Okay, very nice. All right, so we're playing against Lurrus Doomsday. We maybe want a couple of these. Sorry about that, guys. My daughter is yelling at the top of her lungs, singing songs, and as much as we love her beautiful voice, it's somewhat annoying. So here, when I'm trying to do a recording, of course. So, look, when you're playing against Lurrus Doomsday, it's a tricky balance of trying to find removal, have some removal in your deck, and I think this is the way I want it. Like, Consign is okay if they're going off, but I don't think it's amazing. Null Rod is still functional against them. We kind of, now they are showing me they have baubles in their deck. Need to make one more cut here. In all honesty, I just feel like Consign is not that great. Like, yes, I can get them with their stuff on the stack, but all right. This is weak to the Doomsday component of their deck. Let's see what they take here. Maybe they take Probe so they can hide how weak their hand is, maybe? To Wasteland? Nope. They're not weak to Wasteland. They do not have a mana outside of their Mox. Now, we're not looking very good here either. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm pretty removal heavy here. They are doing it. They're just going for the cruise, eh? Can't stop it. Yep. Very nice. Yep. We're getting destroyed this game. We're gonna need a bit of help here. I'm gonna keep it. Look how fast they've filled their graveyard up again here. Lurrus, yep. Do I just dig? They probably have a counter here. Yep. Here you go. Unable to screen gone. Okay. Force will gone. Lurrus and a bauble. Yep. Can't stop it. The good news for me is I have 2 removal spells here. Do they have me fully covered here? Let's see. All right. Look. Ooh, flow state was brutal here. Yep. I could take Twister and pray to find a blue card next turn. Like Flash and Bowmasters, maybe keep it alive. I just feel like I have to be a bit greedy here. It sucks if they've got a fluster here, but they have force. Okay. They're going to have 2 cards here. I'm not averse to a land or a blue card. Let's see what happens. This should be fairly easy to telegraph. They might have a force of will here, hard cast. Yep, Days got me. Yep, all right. We are losing. Okay, that was a good draw. Because now I can maybe protect Lurrus. Sweet. Now they may have, what's it called? Unable to scream. Okay. They have force anyways, so let's see if we can keep this guy around. Don't like seeing that. We could lose very, very easily from here to the Doomsday aspect. Shuffles, okay. Another unable to scream. That does work. 1, 2, 3, 4. I cannot stop it. Okay. Pretty scary. Make them play on a little bit more fair trajectory here. Will they have a counterspell? I'm trying to bait out the counter here. So they did get me. Okay, here we go. Let's see how scary this gets. Double frog. Yikes. I would love my seal. Have I pitched my seal yet? No. That is nice. Hopefully they don't have removal. There you go. They do have removal. Oh, interesting. Okay, yep. Doomsday. Yep. Another example of seal of removal, guys. Like these unable to screams are just horrendous against my deck. They hurt me so badly. But because we have this one seal in our deck, what we were going to be able to do was return our Lurrus back to hand. They did not have their Lurrus anymore. Their Lurrus is gone. Or it's somewhere anyways. Maybe got shuffled back into their hand or something. I don't know. But return our Lurrus and then start recurring our Orcish Bowmasters out of our yard. And then continue remove our play our seal again, return this one back, our frog, kill two unable to screams. We're just going to dominate the game simply with a seal of removal. Okay, guys, here we are in round 4. We're playing against Dredge. Unfortunately, we've lost every die roll tonight. Like, I am wondering if my best hope is to mulligan them to mulligan to Oblivion and me keep a reasonable hand. Like, this hand is not terrible, but I think I have to mull. Yeah, there's a lot better of a hand. Hopefully we don't get our business taken away, but no dredgers of note, guys. That was just awesome. Hopefully they do not have a second bazaar. Okay. Oh, goodness, we definitely don't want that. I don't have really a way to shuffle them either. I'm going to play this here now. Just move towards Lurrus, I guess. So they're moving towards manual discard here. What's really awkward for me is I'm drawing null rod next, and it's just so bad. Yep. My hand is really like a substantial amount of bunk. Okay, well, we probably have a substantial amount of cards we do not want. And of course, we are going to not have enough sideboard cards to bring in to match what we're looking to do. So I think Momentum Breaker is fine. I think Snuff Out is fine. These are answers to Hollow One. Seal, Momentum Breaker, Snuff Out. I think that's a good start. We want all of these: Nihil, Tabernacle, Tormods, and 3 cages. So that puts us up to 56. That is the end of our dredge stuff. So I think Consign has text against dredge. And for those of you who are not aware, it can counter multiple Icarid triggers. And sometimes that's just enough to buy you the time you need to get going. I think it's worth keeping that there. I think I'll just bring in a negation. Negation is typically a blank versus what my opponent's doing. But if we get into a long, dragged out game, like it is a counter. So this is not one I think I can keep. They have begun with 7. This is better. So we have to hope we don't get griefed here. And we don't want to see more than one hollow one. Is that too much to ask for? Oh, they had it. Damn. Okay. A second grief. Wow. All right. Well, look, it's not looking great, but something off the top can change this completely. Cage. How good would have a wasteland have been there? Um, go to their turn. Let's see what happens. Yeah, really. I mean, that was an amazing, amazing draw for my opponent there. I unfortunately don't think we have the luxury. of bow mastering here. I think I'll have to do it next turn. I really need to dig and find something here. Frog, it just doesn't really do it. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit slow, unfortunately, but let's see what happens. Like, it's going to require a tabernacle and me finding something else. In case I draw a twister, I'll just take the hits here. Now, my opponent hit on literally, that was like about as good as a hand as you could ever have. My hand was wonderful. All right. I like the way we're set up here. I have to ship that one back. Damn. Okay. This is not optimal, but we're going to get to buy some time here, I guess, is the idea. We have to put 2 back. So my plan here is to ancestral myself on their upkeep, find land, and if I have to force, I will. I mean, maybe I don't even do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be able to protect it, assuredly. Like, the worst card for me here would be a misstep, but okay, we did miss. Didn't find a land either. I mean, we are desperately in need of help here. Need to fade Icarids. All right. They have second Bazaar, naturally. Cage. Oh, guys. Like, how am I already at 7 life? Like, they've got all 4 chills in their top 30 cards. Jeez. Yeah, I'm probably dead next turn. I guess I have to find a land or something like a cage. And if I find a land, it has to be a land into cage. Or, I mean, I just think I have to preserve my life total here. Okay, that's a start. That's time walk. Cage, relic, Tormods. Nope. Probably dead here. If they get all 4 Icarids, I die. 3 will keep me at 1 life. How many are in exile, if any at all? Oh, 2 Icarids are in exile. Okay, that's something. They do have their 2 Icarids, so I have to find something here. I will take 3. I don't think I can really force a will because it will put me on an Icarid hit. 3, 4. And I have to pay for my creature. All right. We got a chance here. Cage. What's with these frogs, man? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. They're digging here. Okay. So they've put Force of Vigor on top of their library. They have to draw it. 0 cards in hand. All right. Well, I can get in for a hit here. I'm just not worried about anything here. They have 7 cards, yeah. Like that Spell Pierce is just king. Okay, guys, that was a harrowing match, or game in particular. My goodness, I felt like we put ourselves with that opener into a position to have a chance to win. They mulliganed low, and the Ancestral bricked, and yeah, just kind of in the nick of time, we were able to. They had exiled, I guess, 2 of their Icarids at some point. I didn't notice until it was really mattered, and of course that was key. I was able to keep my life total buoyed by a frog and fuel my treasure cruise with the frog, which was just enough to get me into a Graph Digger's Cage and a land that turn. But yeah, we'll take it. Okay, guys, here we are in round 5. We still have not won a die roll. Not sure what we're playing against here. No Lurrus reveal on my opponent's side. Okay, I think this is reasonable. Now, we have to hope that this is not shops, because getting wastelanded here would be pretty bad for us. They do have a force of will. I feel like frog is pretty important here. Very grateful to draw a blue card there. A monolith, yeah. Might and Weakstone. Oh, that's so nice that we can get this with the days. Another good draw. You know, Metamorph is something to be cognizant of. While I was looking at the deck list there with the Might Weakstone, I just was really checking to see if they had Metamorph, because Metamorph is a possibility that could come down on my frog. And would I want to have a fatal push rather than just growing it? That's the question. All right, good go for us there. So this is the Displacer Kitten list. So we definitely want our rods here. I think Fatal Push is generically very weak, but let's see where we sit after we've gotten things going here. Like, they don't truly have a lot of mana in their deck. Days probably could come out. Now, I do think we want our big removal for Argentum Masticore. And I also think we want our 3 consigned to memories for this match. So what else comes out here? Mental Misstep is traditionally a very poor card against Jewel. That said, it can hit some key stuff like a Voltaic Key. I mean, Vexing Bauble is just devastating for our deck. But we have other counters for that. But maybe it's just Probe. All right, let's try this out, guys. Okay. Like a turn 1 creature would be bad for us. So the Urza Saga scares me here. This could be a hard cast force from them. I don't like that I have to do this here, guys. But I think if I'm going to have a chance to win, this is how I do it. And my opponent completely could go over the top of me here, but I have to take a gamble. Displacer Kitten's bad here. I can't stop that. It is a Displacer Kitten. Okay. Make a Saga token here. Or are they going to flip their Monolith? Okay. I need some help badly here. Yeah, just a tiny bit late there. Well, let's brainstorm. No, it has to come down right now. What do I want to shuffle away? What happens if I attack? If I just want card one card, I can draw a card. I'm giving up double force to get an attack in here, though. But they might just go get a Vexing Bauble anyways. I feel like it's very important for me to get an attack in here because I need an extra card. I need to find help here. Okay. Yep, it was Bauble. It's an easy pitch to my Frog now. Now, these are going to be big hits here. Just trying to figure out, do I cast a second frog here? Like, what happens if I have to counter and discard my hand to stay afloat above what they're doing? I think I probably have a turn here. I'm not happy not to be able to attack. I need help, but this could put me in a chump block position here pretty quickly. What is this thing? Exile. Yeah, this is pretty savage because I'm not really going to be effectually able to block these things. Is it going to cost me 2 spells on my hand? It's bad. Oh my god. Vexing Bobble. Yeah, that was not good. All right. This just is not good enough. Much better. I think it's probably Frog, right? Okay. I think I'm going to Ancestral right now. Maybe not. Okay. Land. Not bad. It's a little risky because I can't really back it up, but I mean, do I just... I think I do, right? Just Null Rod? Do I want a Null Rod? I think so. Hopefully they just don't put me into a position where I have to counter here. Ring can resolve because it doesn't do anything. I think I can leave the Iowan for a minute. I feel like that might be worth countering. probably should replicate it here. Putting myself a little bit vulnerable doing this, but I feel like because I have the force, like it's just so good if I find another blue card and I need it. Just gonna get it in here, guys. All right, let's keep her going here. Soul Ring is good. Don't mind Undercity Sewers here. Obviously prefer a Wasteland. I don't want that. The sewer is holding its weight there. Like I'm got a hold of things here. The sad thing is for me is I'm not really applying any pressure to my opponent. I'm just doing a couple damage every turn. Maybe I should have pulled Lurrus there. I don't know. That was a good draw. Really good draw. Maybe the best of my deck. All right. Nice 4-1. Okay, guys, here we are in round 6. We want a die roll. Both have Lurruses. Can't protect it, but we're going to try our best here to get this ancestral to resolve. Does. The Mox is nice there. I'm a little land heavy, but hopefully we're playing a mirror. I don't really want to play against PO. It is definitely on the PO side. I'm not liking this. Squelcher. Okay. Hopefully it's not a stock up. It is. Oh, interesting. Okay. That will draw them an extra card. How do I want to do this, guys? I'm going to try and kill this squelcher. I'm going to try anyways. Did get it out of there. Okay. My question is now, do I time walk? I feel like I might. Don't mind that either. I guess the question is, what am I doing here? I feel like I'd like to play the frog, but I feel like I need to bowmaster and hold up spell pierce. Yeah, that's the plan. Time walk. I can play around it. Yep. It's pretty good. Very nicely done by my opponent there. Cannot stop that either. Jesus. Mox Opal, yep. How do I feel about the Mox Opal? I think I'm going to counter it. So I'm going to have this trigger. And I'm somewhat worried about a PO coming down here on the Thunder Trap next turn. I'm wondering if I just... What happens if I put one here? Card. Might have to block with my Bowmaster. Yeah, that's not really what I want to do. What's more important here? Like this haste guy is not really doing that much damage. I feel like I'm going to put it here. This makes the PO worse. And I can trade with this thing now. They can do Lurrus here. As I said, they tapped the wrong mana there. Yep. And then comes the Lotus. It's pretty bad for me. So I need removal or another bowmaster. And we have chances of drawing those. That is not a great draw, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much worst case scenario for me. It's really bad. Okay, just a big PO here. Another stock up. The only thing is with a PO, if they don't remove my bowmaster, I can kill their Lurrus. Now, there's a number of things that are bad for me here, but we're still playing. Okay. They play in the Hexing. Hexing Squelcher. Another Time Walk. Is Time Walk still there? Yeah, that's incredible. Nothing I can do. That was just like a full-on unmitigated disaster. What do I want to do here? Like the Snapcaster Mage is probably better in play, but they can do a big Thunder Trap through. Or Fourth Earlingus for that matter. So I have to just unfortunately put it at them. I made some turns here in this game, which I think were suboptimal. Probably should have not cast that Time Walk there and waited a turn. Yep. They have a wizard. Okay. That does work. Yes. That was pretty lucky getting rid of the Lurrus. Now, my opponent has a lot of cards, and they can just PO here if they have it. And it looks like they do. So I am going to make a construct here, and I'm going to F6. And we're just getting time here, guys. I think this game is over for us. But they've already used their big spell here. No, I realize that they have the Urza Saga coming and it's going to be huge, but us getting rid of their Lurrus is not insignificant. Oh, they got a fourth with their... Yeah, of course. Okay. Their Snapcaster. Because I felt like we had a really good hand this game. But as I mentioned in my deck tech, if you listen to that, like this is definitely one of the toughest matchups that I have. Like I'm probably 45% to win it. All right. Let's see if we can do a little better this time. Don't mind Momentum Breaker. We need to have some level of removal from my opponent's deck. Probably could cut a swamp. Okay, I think we're set up well here. We really wanted to see Raker, Jewel, that sort of thing, and my opponent has a history of playing Raker, and we're far better positioned against that than this deck here. But all right. It's not great, but I don't really want a mulligan. I'm just going to counter it. Let's try and slow them down a little bit. If they have a broken hand, obviously this is not an ideal thing to do, but if they're on an attrition hand, it can be really good. Yep. Okay. Probably pretty bad for me. Stock up. Yep. Time walk. Yeah, this is just like really bad. My opponents had very nice openers both games, and I feel pretty bad about this one. Yep. Well, guys, I don't think we're going to be able to get into top eight. Like we were in ninth place going in. Like my breakers would have to be really strong coming out of the last round, and I know a number of my opponents have conceded or out, so probably going to end up in ninth or 10th again. I was 10th place last night. Every single one of my breakers lost in the last round. I don't know how you guys feel about stuff like this, but I'm never one to complain. Like a 4-2 is a solid record. But I really feel like I have the bad side of variance with tiebreakers. Like my opponents just seem to not do well after they play me. It's just like um, a bizarre thing. Like I quite often am on, ninth, 10th place. And yeah, win one more. Well, that's easier said than done sometimes, but it's just an observation I have. It happens to me far, far more than my breakers going well for me. I don't know if you guys have similar experiences, but like, look at this. My opponent just destroying me here. This is on their first turn, eh? Like they took a time walk turn, but this is their first turn. And I've played this deck. Like this is really a high roll hand for them. Like very rare you get hands like this. Guess we should have mulliganed, eh? And of course, they very deftly played around my spell pierce with the mocks coming out. Could have swords here. Yep. And they're drawing a card every turn here. Off the bobble. Like a bowmaster would have been sweet here if I had it. Had I drawn a bowmaster, there would be a real chance that I could have got them here. No rod, bowmaster. Straight up the worst card in my deck. Like it's bad, guys, but what am I supposed to do? So it's interesting when I play against this deck. Like sometimes I feel like I'm doing really well, and other times I feel like I just get pounded. Like I played this deck last night, yesterday in the challenge, and it was probably the most non-games I've ever had. Like I went down 0-2 extremely quickly. Game one here, like I felt like I had a really nice hand. I was on the play, just didn't end up panning out. Things spiraled out of control. They had a really nice hand, but this has not been a game at all. Like my opponent is just literally toying with me here. Like I've drawn back to back Force of Wills with Squelcher in play. Like it's just a joke. All right. Yeah, it's just like too little too late, right? All right, guys. Well, let's see what our breakers do here. But obviously, fairly anticlimactic round six there. Well, there you are, guys. We ended up in ninth place. One better than we did yesterday. 10th place. Now we're ninth place. Just a little bit unfortunate. I did need Desolutionist to lose that round. And they knocked me down. But anyways, that said, we had a pretty good run today. Yeah, the list ran pretty smooth again today, guys. We lost to Lurrus PO, which is pretty tough matchup for us. And what did we lose to? I think we lost to Esper Lurrus in round 2, I believe. But deck is smooth, guys. We're just wanting to run into Raker and Jewel all day long with this list. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time, guys. Appreciate you hanging out.